Hello, I'm Tom, and I would like to share with you my thoughts on the topic of intelligence in this presentation. First, I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and afterwards you can lean back if you want and listen to my thoughts. Before I start with the first question, I would like to mention that I made all translations in this presentation with the free version of DeepL. And I would like to say thank you to this tool and to the whole team behind it. What a great tool. It helped me a lot. Thank you very much. So I start with my first question. In which profession do predominantly intelligent people work? What do you think? Plumber, druggist, farmer, laboratory chemist, hairdresser, electromechanic, opticians, technical draftsman, painters, tax consultant? I do not know. I find this question inappropriate. What do you think? Where do predominantly intelligent people work? I would just take whatever you think. 3, 2, 1. And here I have a list of all these jobs ranked by EQ numbers, intelligence quotient numbers. Before the people choose their job, they have been measured some years before, and then the study checked which people went to which job and calculated the average. So you see, the laboratory chemists are on top with an average IQ of 114, and the painters and varnisher, they are at the bottom with an average IQ intelligence quotient of 90. This figure is described like that. In the social pyramid, the spread of IQ is becoming wider and wider towards the bottom. In the lower social strata, there are people with all kinds of IQs. At the top, in the academic professions, the dispersion is smaller. The IQ thus acts as a kind of threshold or transistor. Downwards, it lets everyone through, but upwards only those with a sufficiently high IQ. You can also see it like this. A very intelligent street sweeper will undoubtedly have a higher IQ than an extremely stupid lawyer. An intelligent vagabond, a higher IQ than a stupid doctor. An intelligent sewer worker, a higher IQ than a stupid officer. The relationship between intelligence and social status is obvious, but far from being 100%. Okay, then I would like to ask you the second question, which is a little bit more personal. How intelligent do you estimate yourself? You can choose between below average, slightly above average, average, slightly above average, and I don't know, and I find this question inappropriate. What do you think? How intelligent do you estimate yourself? I also would take whatever comes to your mind first. 3, 2, 1. And of course, I cannot give you the correct answer, but you could come to the idea to make an IQ test. And there are a lot of tests in the internet, and you can also buy books to do a test. And out of one of these books is this quote: "Everyone should have the opportunity to measure the IQ with sufficient accuracy themselves. The only requirement is that he understands and follows the instructions. May this book thus make a small contribution to the self-knowledge of its readers." So then we already come to the third and last question for you. What is intelligence? I think this might be the most difficult question, and I would suggest that you make a break here with the presentation and that you maybe make some notes what comes to your mind when you would try to do a definition of intelligence. Now I just continue and show you a few definitions that I found in the internet, but there are many more. An individual is intelligent to the extent that he is able to think abstractly. Intelligence is what intelligence tests measure. Intelligence is the personal ability to adapt to new demands by having an appropriate means of thinking at one's disposal. Intelligence is an innate, general cognitive ability. Intelligence is the ability of the individual to think vividly or abstractly in linguistic, numerical, or spatial temporal relationships. Intelligence consists of the effective cognitive abilities to understand, recognize connections, and discover causes. Intelligence refers to the mental capacity of people. Howard Gardner takes the view that we have not one but several independent intelligences, that is, multiple intelligences. Intelligence is in psychology a collective term for cognitive or mental performance. Okay, that have been a lot. I hope it was not too much. Now I tried to find some similarities, and I would like to show you some words which came up in these definitions quite a lot. Individual, think abstractly. Personal ability, means of thinking. General cognitive ability. Ability, the individual to think. Cognitive abilities. Mental capacity, people. Cognitive mental performance. So I think the predominant idea of intelligence looks like this. Intelligence is a cognitive performance of an individual human. I think that intelligence is looked like a relatively fixed size or ability that a human being can have or don't have. Most of the time you can see figures like that, a normal curve, which says that everybody is under this curve, half of it on the right side, they can call themselves intelligent, and the other half on the left side, they must say that they are stupid. So it's a relatively fixed size ability of a human being, and we could also show it with such a figure. On top we have the intelligent ones, and at the bottom we have the stupid ones. If we take the IQ, if we made an IQ score, if you score high, you can call yourself intelligent. If you score low, you have to tell yourself you're stupid. What measures an intelligence test? I'm not a professional there, but I think it's something like that. Working memory, processing speed, cognitive performances. So if you're good in this area, you can call yourself intelligent. If you're not good, you have to call yourself stupid. Somewhere in between there is each of us in each test. We can test whatever we want. Every test we can take, we can test people, human beings, and there will always be the lucky winners and the stupid losers in every test. Some can do better, some do less good. Sorry. Okay, so but in practice, this has wide applications. Then we have figures like that, where we have the lucky winners and the stupid losers. It's quite obvious, huh? If you're on top with a high IQ, you can call yourself lucky winners. If you're one of the other jobs, you have to call yourself stupid losers. Quite hard. If we look at the social status, then we have also the lucky winners on top and the stupid losers at the bottom. And I ask myself now if this is really a meaningful idea of what intelligence or stupidity should be. And I think, or I guess, that you can already mention that I'm not a fan of this model, or I'm not happy with this. I think it's there's something going wrong. I also ask myself why many people in my mind, or I think so, that they think that a professor is more intelligent than a farmer. And with that, a professor has also the higher social status. I mean, the professor could not survive if she or he had no food from the farmer. But the farmer could survive without problems if the professor would not be there. Of course, the farmer would not doubt the right to exist to a professor, but I think the professor is not more important. We can use them both, but I think like this it would look more sensible. I also ask myself why human A, which is good in puzzles like this, is called an intelligent human, whereas human B, who feels when his friend needs some help, is just called an empathic human being, and human C, which knows that it's not very good to throw garbage into the forest, is just called a human with a passion for nature conservation. I think it makes no sense to deal with who is better at which cognitive skills in order to make a ranking. I mean, close to everything that we do are cognitive work. And we are not in competition with each other. These are simply different strengths and weaknesses in my opinion. And everybody has different strengths and weaknesses. As a community, we do not need everyone to be able to do the same thing. On the contrary, because we have such diverse strengths, we as a community are at least in part so strong, versatile and adaptable. We humans are social beings, or better said, we are team players. Now it simply depends on how big we choose our team. I hope that our team will soon be called Team Human, and then perhaps even once Team Sensitive Beings. As soon as we all play together, we have even no more opponent. I think the question of who is the most intelligent person in the world is just as inappropriate as the question who is the best sportsman or woman in the world. It's just not possible to measure this in a meaningful way. I mean, which sports shall we take to measure which sportsman is the best? There are so many different sports, like there are so many different cognitive abilities and abilities of a human being. So for sports, if we have to decide to take a test, we could decide we measure in sumo wrestling, which is a sport. We have there the sporting ace and we have the sports muffle. So I am quite sure we have to go the ranking quite a while until names like this would appear. Some of the greatest sportsmen out of thousands of today. So this test makes no sense. Maybe some tests to find the best sportswoman or sportsman in the world will even take an average out of a few other sports. But do you think that this test is going to measure which sportsman or woman is the best? No, it's just measuring who is the best in these 4 or 5 sports categories. And that's the same with IQ. If we take the average of IQ, SQ or EQ, this test is not going to tell us who is the most intelligent person. It's just going to tell us who has been at average best in these areas which we tested. We can do tests in every single discipline, but in my opinion this has nothing to do with true intelligence. Please don't understand me wrong. I have nothing against these tests who are called IQ tests, and I have nothing against the people who develop it, and I'm sure that we can use people who perform very good in these tests. We can use them very good, but just the same as we can use everybody else who wants to help and wants to make a positive change in this world. And we don't have to call the ones intelligent which have a strength in this one area, and we have to say to the other one they're stupid. In my opinion, the word intelligence is too central, too important for our living together and for the self-esteem of each and every one of us, for us to use it only for a certain groups of cognitive performance characteristics. This is my opinion. But then what? What should we use this big word intelligence for? I tried to explain you now what I would not use it for, intelligence, not just for one specific group of cognitive abilities. But now I should show you for what I would use this term for. I think that we are asking ourselves the wrong question. The question of what is intelligence should not be who is intelligent, but how does a truly intelligent world look like? What would this utopia look like, or even better, feel like? How do I imagine a heaven on earth and not a hell on earth? And how I would imagine me that, I would like to explain you now. In an intelligent world, I myself should be fine. But it should be fine also for all other fellow humans, no matter of what skin color or nationality or religion or sexual orientation. Everybody should feel good or be fine, and also nature with all its sentient beings. So I think that we find true intelligence in actions that are good towards myself, good towards fellow human beings, and good towards nature and all sentient beings. Somewhere in there, I think we can find true intelligence. In my eyes, the goal of true intelligence should be to increase the well-being of all sentient beings. But maybe you ask yourself now, but what does he mean with good? I mean, good could mean quite a lot. And I ask myself the same question, and the best answer I found in the book The Moral Landscape by Sam Harris, and he explained it to me like this, if I understood him right, and I would like to explain it now to you. For this problem, I imagine myself a mountain range with very high mountains, quite smaller mountains, small valleys and very big valleys. Some valleys, they are so deep that the sun never shines in there. The big mountains, I say them mega good, super good, or yeehaw. The smaller mountains, I call them quite good, pretty good. The smaller valleys, I call them not so good or strongly improvable. And the deep valleys, there where the sun never shines, I call them absolutely shitty or not acceptable. I know from mountain sports that the highest peaks don't have always to be the nicest one. But I hope that you understand what I want to say you. And I also know that not everybody has to or wants to climb the same mountain. But I'm quite sure that we can agree that nobody of us wants to live in the deep valleys where the sun never shines. To get a little bit more precise, what could I mean with good towards me, good towards all fellow humans, and good towards nature? We could think of which keywords come to our mind. You could do the same now. You could make a break in the presentation and think which keywords come to your mind. I just show you keywords now which come to my mind. In the area of myself, I like the word self-esteem or respecting one's own needs. In the area of fellow humans, I like the golden rule to act towards to another people the same way like you would like to be treated by yourself. or to ask the other if it's okay, how you handle with him. I also like the word human rights. I like freedom of speech. I like gender equality. I like democracy. In the area of nature, I like the word sustainability, or animal rights, or renewable energy. That are just a few of my mountain highest peaks. There would be more, and I hope that maybe you have some of the same as I do. This picture, which I don't know who is the author, the actor, painter, shows very good, and I hope that it's okay if I use it, shows very good what I would like to say to you. I look us humans as from one species, not like in this picture, but it just makes no sense that everybody of us has to or wants to climb this tree. The tree will break down if everybody of us has to or wants to climb up there. So it's not necessary to us that everybody can climb up there. Everybody of us has different abilities, different strengths, and that's good so, this way. Like this we are much stronger than when everybody is good at the same ability. Therefore, I also like very much the quote from Albert Einstein, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. And that, in my opinion, is what is happening right now. So much people are called stupid just because they have not the ability in the same areas as people think intelligence is. But that makes no sense. Yeah, so much people are walking around and they think that they're the fish because they cannot climb this tree. But no, they are not. You are so much better in the water as a fish. So, also I like very much the saying, what I know is a drop, what I don't know an ocean. I know so little. A few things I suggest, and just very little things I'm quite sure I know them. But what I want to say you now, I know with the highest possibility that I am allowed, that I give myself. You are unique, whether you believe it or not. The mixture that you embodies, it's only once in this world. That's no joke. That's true. You have unique strengths, because I know that you're unique. You have unique strengths, and we can use them to change this world to a better place. But we should also not forget that you have also unique weaknesses, like I do. But that's no problem. When we work together in a group, we can compensate easy all weaknesses that we have. I'm quite sure. In an intelligent world, with how I imagine it, you are allowed to do well yourself. You have the right to strive for happiness. But when we got a little bit happiness, I think we also should fight for the right that everybody else, all fellow humans and all animals, can get this right. My dream is that in the future we no longer talk about intelligent or stupid people, but about intelligent or stupid actions. I hope that in the future, when we ask the question, what is intelligence? We will no longer ask who is intelligent, but what would a truly intelligent world look like? Our goal, in my mind, should be to ensure that ourselves, the human community, and all sentient beings are well. Wouldn't it be nice if we all had this goal? We are grateful for the diverse and unique strengths that each of us has. And we respect every weakness of an individual which does not lead to the suffering of other people or nature. And we help everyone when we realize that she or he still too often acts badly against herself or himself. I hope that in the future we will play more with each other than against each other. We can use everyone who wants to do something positive and support everyone who is not yet able to do so. I hope that our team will soon be called Team Human. And one day maybe, I hope so, Team Sentient Being. I hope that this idea we let behind us and that we change to something like that. No human is stupid. We can use them all. Stupid can only be actions. And we all act stupid sometimes. Nobody's perfect. What good means, we must always find out a new, wait up question. Which actions lead to more well-being than suffering? To more happiness than pain? Sometimes it's not easy to say. There are unknown feedbacks, or we don't have all the information, and we know that we are not perfect, and we know that we will make mistakes, but imagine if we all had this goal. Wouldn't it be nice? I think it would be worth a try. Please never let you be convinced that you are stupid. Only actions can be stupid. Actions can be redesigned again and again. We always get new opportunities every single moment. We get a new chance to act intelligent every single moment. I can act now better, and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. Let's look ahead. Past we can change. Everybody of us has done stupid things, but just forget it. Let's do it better. Let us try to act intelligently, I suggest. So I would like to ask the second question once again. How intelligent do you estimate yourself? And I hope that I could explain you why I personally answer this question like this. I find the question inappropriate. The question should be, am I acting intelligent right now? Am I good towards myself, good towards all fellow humans, and good towards nature? And this question, as hard it sometimes will be, I have to ask myself over and over again. So I'm quite sure that together we can be incredibly strong. We humans are a very fascinating creature. We are very curious and versatile and individual, and we have the very nice ability, the wonderful ability of empathy. At the same time, I know that there is so much pain out there in this world. You just have to watch through the television, and I just want to name you one number. Every day, around 15,000 children under 5 years die because of extreme poverty. It has been more in the past years. It's getting a little bit better, but it's just too much. And I could name you so much more suffering in this world. I mean, you know it. And sometimes I can understand that a lot of people are losing faith, are losing hope when they hear news like that. I'm sometimes also close to losing hope. But one person who helped me not to lose yet hope is called Michael Schmidt-Salomon, and he helped me with his book Hoffnung Mensch. In there he showed me that there is still hope. So I suggest, let us try to act intelligently. But who am I? Am I allowed to suggest or to ask you something that I often fail myself? I have a lot of mistakes, and I often act stupid. Just to name you one example, every year of my life I used more resources than I'm entitled to. but it's also quite hard to use less when you live in such a luxury country like me in Switzerland. But and I came to the conclusion that I'm not allowed to ask you something that I don't get myself. So, but I also want to take this claim, no human is stupid, also for myself. I too am not stupid, only I still act too often like an idiot. I hope that in the future I can act more often intelligent. Okay, with this I'm at the end of my presentation, and if you're still watching, I'm very happy and I hope that you can get something out of this presentation. And if I said something that you think is bullshit, you can write it in the comments. I would be very happy because I believe that critique is a gift. We can only learn if somebody shows me my mistakes and shows me where I can do it better. So I would be very happy if you write something. And otherwise, I just want to send you a nice greetings to wherever you are listening right now to me. I hope very much that you can call yourself as happy as I most of the time can call myself. And if this is not the case, I hope that you have still strength and hope, and the sun rays will soon reach your valley. I cannot say it for sure, but I hope it very much. I had the chance in the past to visit a lot of countries around the world, and my most important discovery was that we humans are very much the same as different, very much more similar than different. We have very same feelings and basic needs. And I think that this world would be a better place if we all knew each other personally. So I hope that one day we all will know each other personally, maybe also you and me, I hope so. Until then, I wish you all the best, please take care and goodbye.